My stepsister celebrated, thinking she had secured my inheritance. Then my grandfather's lawyer opened the safe, and what was inside made her collapse. Hello, Reddit I plus here. I knew I'd already lost before the will was even read. You can feel it in a room when people have quietly agreed you don't matter anymore. That was the atmosphere in my grandfather's house that morning. Heavy, polite, final. No one said it out loud, but every glance, every awkward smile, every carefully avoided eye contact screamed the same thing. You're not part of this anymore. I stayed near the bookshelf in the corner of the study, half hidden behind a row of old encyclopedias no one had opened in decades. That's where I'd learned to exist over the past 6 years anyway. Out of the way, unnoticed, irrelevant. Across the room, my stepsister was glowing, not grieving, not even pretending. Glowing. Her name was Sienna, 29, perfect posture, perfect outfit, perfect timing in life. The kind of person who knew exactly when to tilt her head just enough to look sympathetic while calculating her next move. She laughed softly at something one of the board members said and touched his arm like they were old friends. That was her thing. Connection, control, positioning. By the time anyone realized what she was doing, she'd already woven herself into every part of the family. And by then, it was too late. You should come stand closer, she said to me as she passed, her voice low and sweet enough that anyone else would have thought she was being kind. Then she leaned in just slightly. Wouldn't want to miss the moment your life officially becomes a cautionary tale. She smiled and walked away before I could respond. That was her other thing, delivering cruelty so cleanly that no one else ever saw it. 6 years ago, she and her mother entered our lives like a rescue story. My grandfather had just lost his wife. My father was falling apart. And suddenly, there they were, helpful, supportive, exactly what we needed. Her mother married my father within a year. And Sienna? She didn't just become part of the family, she replaced me. It didn't happen overnight. That's what made it so effective. First, she started showing up to things I couldn't. Oh, she said she was busy, she'd tell them. I wasn't. Then messages started going missing. Calls I never received, plans I never knew about. Every time I tried to reconnect, I felt like I was chasing something that kept moving just out of reach. And every time, she was already there, filling the space I was trying to get back into. Eventually, people stopped asking where I was and started assuming I just didn't care. Everyone, please, the lawyer said, drawing the room's attention. Mr. Caldwell. He'd known my grandfather longer than I'd been alive. He looked like he hadn't slept. That should have mattered more to me in the moment, but all I could focus on was how this was about to end. As per the most recent will, he began, the estate of Gregory Hale, including Hale Enterprises, all domestic and international holdings, and associated trusts, will be transferred to Sienna Hale, she said smoothly, finishing his sentence. He paused, then nodded. My chest tightened. There it was, final, clean, irreversible. And to Aria Hale, he continued, glancing at me briefly, a collection of personal photographs, journals, and family keepsakes. A few people shifted uncomfortably, not because they disagreed, but because even they knew how bad that sounded. Sienna didn't bother hiding her reaction. She laughed, actually laughed. Finally, she said, stepping forward, something that reflects reality. Then she turned just enough to include the room. Effort matters, presence matters, loyalty matters. You can't disappear for years and expect to be rewarded like you were here. A couple of people nodded again, that quiet agreement, that silent betrayal. My father didn't say anything. He just stood there, watching, like he wasn't sure which version of me he believed anymore. The one she had described, or the one standing right in front of him. I'm glad Granddad saw things clearly before the end, she added. That one landed deeper than she probably realized. Because I knew something she didn't. He hadn't forgotten me. He just stopped reaching out, and I never understood why. There is one final matter, Mr. Caldwell said. His voice shifted again, not louder, just heavier. Sienna sighed dramatically. If this is about the office safe, I already have access. He gave me the code months ago. That is not the safe I'm referring to. That got her attention. There is a secondary safe, he continued, hidden behind the portrait above the fireplace. Silence, total, complete. Silence. Sienna frowned. That's not possible. I've been in this room constantly. There's nothing there. Mr. Caldwell didn't argue. He walked to the portrait, lifted it, and there it was. A sleek, embedded safe. Perfectly hidden. For the first time since I'd known her, Sienna looked unsure. The code, he said, turning slowly, is Aria's date of birth. Everything inside me froze. No, Sienna said immediately. That's wrong. That has to be wrong. But he was already entering it. The safe clicked open. Inside, a sealed envelope, my name written across it, and a flash drive. The room shifted. You could feel it, like something invisible had just tilted. That belongs to me, Sienna said sharply, stepping forward. No, Mr. Caldwell replied. Just that. One word. And for the first time, she stopped. My hands were shaking as I opened the envelope. I didn't want to, because something told me whatever was inside was going to change everything. My dear Arya, if you're reading this, then I failed to protect you the way I intended. I stopped. My vision blurred for a second. What you experienced over the past 6 years was not distance, it was design. My heart started pounding. You were isolated deliberately. Every missed call, every canceled visit, every misunderstanding. None of it was accidental. I looked up. Sienna had gone pale. I discovered the truth too late. By the time I understood who they were already inside everything. What is this? Her mother snapped suddenly, stepping forward. This is inappropriate. This is manipulation. Let her read, Mr. Caldwell said quietly. They altered records, redirected communications, created a version of you that did not exist. My throat tightened, because that's exactly what it felt like I'd been erased, while still alive. So I did the only thing I could. I let them believe it worked. The room felt smaller. Like the walls were closing in, I gave them access, control, influence. Sienna shook her head, backing up slightly. No, this isn't real. And while they celebrated, I documented everything. I lowered the letter slowly. Play the drive, I said. No, Sienna snapped, panic breaking through now. You don't even know what's on that. This is illegal. This is enough, my father said, and his voice was different. Mr. Caldwell inserted the drive, clicked, opened the first file. Audio filled the room. Sienna's voice, calm, calculated. She's basically out of the picture now, she said. No one questions it anymore. Her mother responded. Good. Keep it that way until everything transfers. After that, she won't matter. My father staggered back like he'd been hit. Another file. Video this time. Security footage. Dates spanning years. Moments I was supposed to be present replaced. Edited, erased. Then financial records, transfers, layered, hidden. But undeniable. This is fake, Sienna whispered. But even she didn't believe it. And finally, Mr. Caldwell said, opening the last file, a document. Digitally signed, legally stamped, the real will, everything. Every asset, every share, every property, left to me. That's when Sienna broke. Not angry, not composed, broken. She let out this sharp, uneven laugh, then her knees buckled, and she hit the floor. Her mother started shouting, blaming, threatening, grabbing at papers, demanding explanations. Security was called, phones were taken. People who had supported her just minutes ago stepped back like they didn't know her. My father didn't move. He just stared at the screen, at the proof, at 6 years of lies playing out in front of him. Later, after everything collapsed, after they were escorted out, after the house emptied, he sat across from me, silent, destroyed. I chose wrong, he said finally. I didn't answer. Because there wasn't anything to say. I still have the letter. The last line hasn't left my mind since. You were never weak. You were outnumbered. And yeah, that changes how you see everything. So now I'm sitting here, in a house I almost lost, holding a life I didn't even know I was still allowed to have, and wondering how many people believed the version of me they were carefully fed. Because the truth? It wasn't just Sienna who betrayed me. It was everyone who found it easier to believe her.